Hello, I'm here right now to show, and I'm doing a live version of it, the Ultimus plate and why you want to use it with the accelerator. So the problem with the accelerator is awesome. Now the accelerator comes with this foot plate, this plastic foot plate that weighs around 5 pounds, 5 something pounds, and it's good on the accelerator. The only problem is that a lot of people like to take it traveling with them because it's lighter than the metal plate that comes with the system, right? It is lighter. But the problem is that the channel on this foot plate is really narrow, really short. So if you use this foot plate on the ground and you put like an elite band on the ground, the foot plate will press and dig into, in other words, the channel is too light for this foot plate. It's too narrow. So when you put this elite band, if you were using an elite band, or almost all the bands, under it, you snag it onto the floor. An example like this, you snag it where now the band is stuck under there. You see that? It's not free flowing. So this plate that comes with the accelerator, which still weighs like 5 something pounds, it's useful on the accelerator, but if you take it with you because it's lighter, it's not going to function well with the bands. Plus, it is a weaker plate, meaning that if you step on it, if you try to do split squats, which is not recommended in the accelerator anyways, it will warp on you. So even if you take it with you and you do it with the accelerator, if you do heavy enough bands, this thing will warp and might break. Because I've broken these with deadlifts when you do it really heavy and it'll snap on you. Now there are other plates that fit the accelerator, like this Floyd Reed plate. This is no longer made, so you could only get it in the secondhand market, but there's very few of them out there. This plate fits the accelerator. It has a lot taller channels, so the elite band slides under here real good. But this plate is like close to 10 pounds. So if you want to take it with you, this plate weighs like 10 pounds and it's really heavy, right? It's heavy to take with you. So, and this plate also, if you have it on the accelerator, it generally stays on because it's so heavy that it presses the button all the time. It doesn't turn off and on. Because if you see the original plate that it came with, this one only turns on when you press it and you get off it, right? This one is so heavy that it just turns the accelerator on all the time. You have to turn it off at the bottom, which is fine, but that's what it does. The metal plate that comes with the system does not fit the accelerator, all right? And it's relatively the same size as the plastic foot plate. So basically, if you have really big feet, like I fit in it, but barely. If you have really big feet, your toes might be off it or might be behind it because of the narrow, because of it's like 10 inches or 9.5 inches tall this way for your feet, and like 19 wide. Now, there are other plates out there that are really good. This is the clench plate. It's really nice and big. Obviously, this not going the accelerator. But the problem with these plates is that these are heavy. These are like 18 to 20 pounds. So a lot of people that buy them start up, yeah, they're excited, but then when they get to move them around, it's heavy to take with you, or it's heavy to take with you, and it's heavy to even move around. So a lot of the people that I know that have it stop using it because they don't even want to, you're tired, you don't want to move an 18-pound plate. So that's why I made the Ultimus plate. The Ultimus plate is bigger than the plate that came with you see, it's a much bigger plate, and your feet, look how much room you have. It's 12 inches front to back, and look how stable this plate is on the floor. Very stable. When you put it on the floor, this thing literally locks on the floor. So you have a lot of room for your feet, and you also have a wider area. What does this mean? It automatically, so if you use the Ultimus plate in comparison to the regular foot plate, right? And we're gonna see right now, you're gonna see the difference that it shortens the bands automatically if we were gonna do, like, let's say a deadlift or a bench row. So here's the height. Look how high the tension starts in this one. And look how low the tension starts in this one. So automatically, you're shortening the band a bit, like 2 inches, all right? So you're automatically getting the band being a little lower, which is good for most people, all right? Another thing is that the Ultimus plate only weighs like 2.5 pounds to three at most. So this is so, look, you can hold it with your, just with the tips of your fingers out, extended, and this is not a problem, right? If you try to do that with this plate, this is a heavy plate. You can't lift it. Even this one, it's a heavy plate. It's hard to reach out. This, you could extend your arm all the way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't weigh anything. Plus, it actually fits inside the accelerator. So in other words, it locks into the accelerator. Now it's stuck on there. The metal plate, you have to put on top of that, and it'll slide around the accelerator like this. You see? It'll move around because it's not locked in here. This one is actually locked into the accelerator. So it fits the accelerator perfectly fine. Now, it will come with an adapter for the accelerator. The adapter is nothing. The adapters are just things that go in here. And what does the adapter do? Well, when you step on the plate, it presses down the button, all right? Because the plate is made so it's very light. So the bottom is different than the other standard plate. So, right? When you press on it now, turns on the accelerator, right? So it'll turn off and on the accelerator the same way, usually, depending on where the button's at. So, right? So that, this plate functions with the accelerator. It fits on the accelerator. It won't move anywhere on the accelerator, but it also has other advantages. Obviously, the best advantage that it has is this thing only weighs, like I said, nothing. You could hold it out here internally. This weighs less than the bar, all right? It's lighter than the bar, which is pretty amazing. It's much deeper. In other words, like I showed you that plate over there does not allow the elite band to go through it. This one easily allows the elite band to go through it. Like nothing. You see that? Look how much of sliding we're getting. This plate that is to work on the accelerator, you notice the original plate of the accelerator does not allow the new elite band to be inside very well. If you put this plate here, you're gonna have a hard time once you step on it, moving it, because it actually is stuck on there. While that plate will allow it to slide and you'll fit multiple bands easily. Another advantage that this plate has, compared that I made on specific purpose, which is this plate can be used to do offsets with the accelerator much better than anything else. Why? Here's what I'm going to show you, which is really what most people need, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my light band on the bottom, and I'm going to put the foot plate right here, right under there. Now I'm going to place the accelerator right on top. So now you line it up, and the accelerator sits right on it. It's made to fit the accelerator. Now when the bands go on, they go up straight up and down. They don't touch the accelerator, so the bands won't get messed up. Like I used to use this plate under it, and that plate's too narrow, so the bands will rub against the accelerator edges. This is made so that it works with the accelerator in every which way you want. This doesn't let the band rub the accelerator. It just goes up and down. Now I'm going to put my heavier band, let's say. Now, obviously, I use heavier bands than most people, but right now I'm just doing a sample. So I'm going to put my heavier band out here. I'm going to put like that, right? So now with the hooks, you could do offsets that are amazing, because you could put the long band, right? The band underneath, put it in the regular position, right? So now what's happening? I'm creating, look at the starting point here, right? The tension here is starting down here, basically down all the way here at the bottom, right? Now I'm going to place this one right here into this hook, right here into this hook, right? So now this one's only going to add tension to the top part. So when I'm here, look at the tension, you see? Nice tension down here, really good. So I'm gonna go add tension to the top, getting tension only at the top, and long tension at the bottom. Then you could get those diminishing range reps here for your deadlift, where you're pushing the floor away with your legs. So with this plate, you have a lot more options. Plus, when you're stacking bands, this plate has a very wide channel. You could put 4 or 5 bands on there and it'll fit, especially if you have the hooks. Because with the hooks, let's say you didn't have the accelerator and you want to do the same offset. Well, since this plate is so wide at the bottom, under it, what we're gonna do is simple. Now this plate's on there, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten one band, right? I'm gonna shorten one of the bands. So again, so it's shortened on both sides. So this is if you don't have the accelerator, you could still do offsets. So you see now the tension is starting really low. I could even get it more short. I could shorten even more if I wanted to. But now, again, I'm gonna place this one here, right? So now that one's only gonna add tension to the top part of the lift. See that? So now you're getting a long range here, long range. Like here you have tension, and then as you get up, it adds tension to the top. So this plate allows for more bands to be in here for better stacking in combination with the hooks. It's really good because then you really have other ways to play with. But the best advantage of this plate is, I'll tell you right now, is when you're ready to go traveling, this plate weighs nothing in comparison. I'll tell you right now, the elite bands, especially this one, actually feels like it weighs more than this plate. All right? The band feels like it weighs more than the plate. But the plate is strong. It's very, unlike a lot of plates that wobble. This plate, when it's on the ground, this plate is super, it's like so stable on the ground. It's very, like, it doesn't move. It's like stuck to the ground like a lizard. Like if it's a gecko, all right? It's really good to use for anything. And like I said, you could slide, show you now. Let's see what we could do with the channel itself is so wide that you could slide a lot of bands. Unlike the other plates that have a narrow 4-inch channel, right? Here, we could probably slide 4 bands inside this plate, right? Because the channel itself, the channel front to back, right, is very wide. So if you wanted to stack different bands at different levels, this channel allows for more bands to be under here than the rest of the channels, because this one allows you to have bands under here sliding because the channel itself is wider, right? So if you see, the channel itself fits like, and it's rounded at the edge, at the back end. So when the bands are in the back end of it, they're not hitting a corner, they're hitting a round area, so that they're not being pushed against a corner. Like this one has a corner on the edge, this has a round area on the edge. Now the bar, the plate also functions front to back, because obviously this plate allows you to put bands this way, right here in the middle, which you could use very good for split squats. Why? Because with the split squats, all you're gonna do is shorten it, right? You don't have to have it the other way. You could shorten it here. You shorten it as much as you need to. But now when you do split squats, this plate is a very, very stable plate. So imagine you have the belt here. This is a very stable plate that when you're pushing into it, it's much more comfortable than a wide plate. You understand? So you want to do split squats this way. You just adjust it with the hooks. You want to do it sideways, and that plate stays stuck on the floor, unlike the other plate, which moves around like this. When you have it the long way and you do split squats this way, you really get a really good pump. Let's say on your legs, you're able to focus on the leg more rather than the plate moving on you. Another advantage I'm going to show you. Let's say you want to do bicep curls. It's all about angles, right? So the bicep curl, the best part of the bicep curl would be if the band was coming out from behind you a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the band underneath, like so, right? But what I'm going to have is I'm going to have the band come out from here, from the back. Sure. Now I'm having the band come out of the back. You understand? So now the angle, when you do your curls, the angle for that curl, you're getting a lot of tension in this area down here in the weak range, where you're able to really get a really hard curl. Because the weak range now, the band is pulling from behind you. So when you do the curl at the bottom, there's a lot of tension. Rather than the band being straight down, the band's coming out from behind you a bit. You can just push this band back right here so you'll be more comfortable, stand on it. Now, and trust me, you're gonna have to use a lighter band than you used to, because now the weak range actually has range for the band, because the angle is forcing your bicep to work. So there's many different ways you could use it. And I'm only showing this really quick. I will show later on more precise. But again, this foot plate is awesome with the benefits that it provides, and especially how light it is. This is like nothing. It's like carrying air. It's probably the lightest thing you'll carry.